Hello and welcome to News Now on TV360. I am Thelma Okuru. The Joint Task Force operating in Niger Delta region says it has deployed troops to apprehend the gunmen who killed 3 of its members. Suspected militants on Sunday had killed 3 Joint Task Force members in Nembe, Bayelsa State, southern Nigeria. Reports say the suspected militants ambushed the JTF members at the Nembe Waterway checkpoint. A statement by a spokesperson for the military, Lieutenant Commander A. Mohammed, said the JTF has now deployed troops to ensure the killers were brought to book. The JTF members were attached to Operation Delta Safe, a joint military force responsible for dealing with security threats by militant groups in the Niger Delta region. Attacks by militant groups in the Niger Delta has pushed crude production in Nigeria to 30-year lows in recent weeks. Boko Haram's disputed leader Abubakar Shekau has appeared in a new video vowing to fight on. He shrugged off any signs of an apparent split in the jihadist group. He also threatened to attack the Nigerian military and the President Muhammad Buhari at the presidential villa in Abuja. Just last week now, Shekau said in an audio message he was still the head of the group despite his purported replacement by Sheikh Abu Musab al-Banawi, who is a former Boko Haram spokesman. In the new video, he is seen wearing a camouflage gear and holding a machine gun while standing between 2 Islamist fighters armed with rocket-propelled grenade launchers. He taunted President Buhari's administration and condemned Western countries, including the United States, France, and Germany. Boko Haram has killed some 10,000 people since 2009 and has also kidnapped hundreds of people, including women and children. Nigeria's Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Tukur Buratai, says the Nigerian Army has defeated Islamist sect Boko Haram. He said the army had degraded their ability to regroup in any part of the country. Nigeria has been battling Islamist sect Boko Haram for about 7 years now. However, in the past few months, the military has succeeded in beating back the Islamist sect and significantly reducing attacks on civilians in the northeast region. But in the past week, the group has threatened fresh attacks on Nigeria. Despite this, Buratai says that the group has no longer poses a threat to Nigeria's security. The Nigerian government says a stable power supply can be achieved in Nigeria if consumers learn to conserve energy. In a power sector stakeholders meeting in Maiduguri, the Minister of Power Works and Housing, Babatunde Fashola, claimed that increased power supply experience lately was in line with the federal government's roadmap of first achieving incremental power. The stakeholders meeting is a monthly conference convened by the Power Minister for key actors including power generators, transmitters and distributors. Fashola also appealed to state governors across the nation to facilitate properly conducted energy audits to use as a basis for planning power consumption. The Nigerian Meteorological Agency (NIMET) has urged 11 state governments to take proactive action against imminent flooding. The appeal was contained in a statement signed by a spokesperson of NIMET, Eva Azinge, in Abuja, the nation's capital. The affected states include Akwa Ibom, Bauchi, Benue State, Borno, Cross River, Delta State, Kaduna, Kwara, Nasarawa, Yobe and Zamfara. Azinge said NIMET had predicted flooding in the 11 states due to the cumulative high-intensity rainfall in those parts of the country in June and July. She added that with the current rainfall, there was prospect of flooding in August and October. Nigeria's Minister of Power Works and Housing, Babatunde Fashola, has ordered the immediate closure of the damaged Apapa Bridge for emergency maintenance work to begin. The bridge links Nigeria's premier port to both the Lagos mainland and Lagos Island. Addressing a stakeholders meeting in Lagos State, Fashola said the closure of the bridge was a necessary measure as it would save lives and prevent avoidable mishaps.
We are shutting the bridge so that there is no further accident. And whatever our inconvenience is, I think that if we are inconvenienced, we still have life. I don't want us to come back here to come and recover any dead bodies. And I think we can achieve that with the cooperation that we have, manage our use of the road as best we can. Don't get on the road if you don't have to at this time. Whatever business you can do by text, by telephone, by email, please do so. That is why those facilities also exist, so that the number of people who are on the road are only those who need to be on the road. And again, I'm going to appeal to the unions, tankers and maritime container movers. Please, by your own self-arrangement and cooperation with the state government, we can work through this successfully without adversely affecting the larger economy, either by extra cost of delivery of a container and goods, which are passed on to people at a time when the economy can ill afford that, or shortages of fuel simply because you have to make a diversion. I think this is the time for you to also step up and take responsibility, and let us work together to get out of this unforeseen disaster that we must deal with.
State Commissioner of Transport also commended the minister's decision to close the Apapa Bridge.
We don't want to inconvenience people too much, and when we have physical barriers, as we have on the service lane right now, we have to make sure that the service lane is clear of all encumbrances. We are going to remove all the trucks there. That is going to start immediately. The union have promised us that they are going to do that, and then Julius Baja will start the palliative measures tomorrow, and then clear it as well. But the issue is, should we close it tomorrow or should we close it today? The issue is, life cannot be replaced. So it's better we close it today and bear the consequences of inconveniences for another, maybe one day. And that is why we have made the decision between the state government and the federal government to close it instantly, because the damage there is one that is a disaster waiting to happen if we do not close it immediately.
It is a very good approach on the part of the federal government. And let's also appreciate the effort of the Honorable Minister of Works and Housing. When you get to the site, we will also look it critically and observe that that bridge cannot stand the test of the time right now. And it is even better to protect life than to allow it to be lost. So it's a good approach, very good proactiveness on the part of the government. We love it, though it's going to create a lot of bottleneck and also create some inconveniences for some of our members. But it's better that way than to allow them to lose their life. We are going to partner with the government and all the security agencies to ensure that we cooperate with the government.
We'll take a quick break. When we come back, we'll look at more top stories. Don't go away.
Corruption not in my country.
Hello, Alahaji. Right now I'm in Abuja. No. Hello? Adamu. Right now I'm in Kano. Yes. When I get back, I'll just call you. Look, what is wrong with you? I'm talking on the phone and you are gesticulating and doing. What's wrong with you?
Daddy, where exactly are we as we speak?
Are you alright? This is Lagos.
Well, you just lied to someone that we're in Abuja.
Keep quiet. Who told you can tell an elderly person is lying?
Daddy, you just lied. And by lying, you are raising corrupt children for the future of Nigeria. That is corruption, not in my country.
Corruption not in my country.
Welcome back. The Nigerian federal government has released 420 million naira to each of the 36 states and the Federal Capital Territory to revive primary health care centers. The Minister of Health, Isaac Adewale, disclosed this in Ibadan shortly after he paid a working visit to the University College Hospital. He said the grant was released on July 14, 2016. Adewale said the states that perform well would also be given more money in the subsequent years as a way of compensating them for a job well done. The ruling All Progressives Congress has threatened to sanction the former chairman of the House Committee on Appropriation, Abdulmumun Jibrin, for going against the party's directives. The party had last week ordered Jibrin to stop making public accusations against the Speaker of the House of Rep, Yakubu Dogara. Both Dogara and Jibrin are members of the All Progressives Congress. However, Jibrin flouted the orders and continued his attacks on the Speaker of the House of Rep. On Sunday, he said that he had identified two governors working to shield Dogara from prosecution over the budget padding scandal rocking the lower legislative chamber. Reacting to the outburst in a statement on Monday, the party warned Jibrin that he could be sanctioned if he continued to disobey the laws on speaking on the budget padding scandal. Meanwhile, the National Association of Nigerian Students have stated their support for Yakubu Dogara, who is the Speaker of Nigeria's House of Reps. Speaking at a press briefing in Abuja, the nation's capital, they called on members of the House to shun all forms of allegations being leveled against the Speaker.
May we also draw the attention of the discerning public to the fact that the House of Representatives gave her full cooperation to the executive in the passage of the 2006 Appropriation Act and did not place any form of encumbrance for personal pecuniary purposes. Thus, the budget which the House passed were that assented by the President without any further insertion. We cannot but wholly agree that the Speaker Yakubu Dogara fully supported President Muhammadu Buhari's drive to transform governance and develop Nigeria to have full potential for the benefit of all citizens. Honorable members should avoid this unhelpful bickering and concentrate on delivering democracy dividends to Nigerians, which they were doing before this self-inflicted crisis. We shall therefore mobilize Nigerian students from campuses across Federation to welcome Mr. Speaker on the 12th September 2016 when the House resumed from recesses.
Nigerian lawyer and second vice president of the Nigerian Bar Association, Onyekachi Ubani, has launched his own foundation. The Onyekachi Ubani Foundation was launched in Lagos State with an appeal to wealthy Nigerians to support the less privileged in the society. Ubani says the society will continue to breed miscreants if those who are wealthy do not come to the assistance of the poor and less privileged. It was an event called to raise funds for a noble cause, and the turnout was quite impressive, with politicians and professionals from all walks of life present at the occasion. Among the top dignitaries is Uche Oga, the man at the center of the governorship tussle in Abia State, who has since been issued a certificate of return as the duly elected governor of the state. Representing President Muhammadu Buhari at the event, his spokesperson Femi Adesina, he commended the vision of the foundation and read the president's personal letter to the initiator of the foundation.
It is significant that the foundation is dedicated to helping the poor and needy in the society and is also out to celebrate those who have made our country proud with virtuous acts. This I heartily commend and recommend to other well-off Nigerians. I'm very pleased that the foundation launch will be marked by a public lecture which topic focuses on one of the things dearest to the heart of this administration, the anti-corruption war. Barrister Ubani, you have decided to improve other people's lives in your own little way. Very inspiring. If this is the heartbeat of more privileged Nigerians, then the burdens of government will be a lot lightened. I wish you a very successful launch, a most illuminating lecture, and a happy birthday.
Guest speaker at the occasion, Segun Oloketui, the managing director of Wema Bank, who represented the general overseer of Lateran Assembly, Pastor Tunde Bakare, addressed the gathering on the challenges of corruption in Nigeria and why it must be fought to a standstill.
In Nigeria, officials are not only corrupt, corruption is official. For instance, given the unbridled looting of the treasury at the time, reportedly to the tune of $1 billion, as was subsequently uncovered following the exit of the military, it was obvious that the abnormal had become the norm, the illegal had become legal, the outrageous had become banal, and the aberrant had become the gold standard. Through 17 years of civil governance, the stench of corruption has continued to pollute the national atmosphere and to attract the derision of the international community. Despite the emergence of a new government on the heels of a strong anti-corruption campaign, despite the credence lent to this anti-corruption promise by the antecedents of President Muhammadu Buhari, and despite the global acknowledgement that Nigeria has taken shovel loads off the peak of this mountain of faith, the stench of corruption remains fantastically horrible, with the rest of the world turning their noses away in disgust and in derision.
Among the highlight of the event is the launch of the foundation brochure. For Onyekachi Obani, the launch of the foundation is a personal mission to tackle poverty in society and give the less privileged a chance to overcome their struggles.
Majority of our brothers and sisters are hungry and under the siege of poverty, lack and deprivation. This is the story we go through every day, from Monday to Sunday. This scenario is worse on Fridays and Sundays in our mosques and churches, respectively. We must do something because there is really no option for us as individuals, institutions, or as a nation. In these trying times, a little help goes a long way for the poor and the less privileged in our society. That little seed you sow in the life of one in distress, at the time is needed, goes a long way in serving a soul, a neighborhood, a community, and our country at large. This is what I have been doing in my personal capacity, and the gratitude by each beneficiary never ceases to overwhelm me each time that my little intervention saves a life. This is what the Onyekachi Obani Foundation is all about.
What the Bible says is that whoever you're able to assist is your neighbor, you know. And that is what he has tried to do. He's been doing this for a while, but along the line, I think God laid it in his mind to now formalize it through this foundation.
We are quite impressed by this initiative because it is targeting exactly the class of people that the government body administration is also targeting, which are the downtrodden and those that really need the help of government. Because we know that the rich and well-to-do, yeah, they must be supported, but they are not the weak in the society. A lot of the time they can take care of themselves, and we will continue to support them. But the priority of government is to help the weak and the poor and those that cannot make ends meet.
The Onyekachi Obani Foundation is dedicated to helping the poor in the society, irrespective of their tribe or religion. Even before this formal launch, the foundation has since set out on its mission to bring relief to the very poor in the society. The meeting of Southwest leaders of the People's Democratic Party held in Akure, the Ondo State capital, over the chairmanship position of the party ended inconclusive. The leaders of the party who were in attendance disagreed on zoning of the position to a particular state of the geopolitical zone. 3 positions were zoned to the region. These are the national chairman, the deputy publicity secretary, and the treasurer. However, the leaders of the party disagreed on the zoning arrangement on the grounds that it was not a democratic arrangement. Moving on to business stories now, the National Iron Ore Mining Company Limited, NIOMCO, in Kogi State has resumed activities after the federal government and Global Steel Holdings Limited signed a new agreement to restore the mining company. The sole administrator and chief executive officer of the mining company, Bernard Naha, in an interview with TV360 said the arrangement would help the country as it seeks to diversify the economy away from crude oil.
It is a milestone achievement. You know, Global Infrastructure Nigeria Limited had a concession agreement between 2005 and 2008. An agreement was terminated, and since that period, a period of 8 years, the Jupiter Steel Company and National Iron Ore Mining Company have been idle. So the decision of the government has been well received by all stakeholders. This opportunity will give Global Infrastructure Nigeria Limited to redress the mistakes of the past and then rehabilitate all the facilities at Nyoko and boost production from the present situation to the design stage of 2.15 million tons of iron ore concentrate annually. And this will entail the mining of over 7 million tons of iron ore from the Takwe mine. And they have also promised to increase the production to 2.8 million tons per annum, and then in the third phase to 5 million tons. That entails a lot of activities.
Now the work has started on the 3rd. The due diligence exercise commenced on the 3rd, and we intend to carry out a serious due diligence exercise that will eventually lead to the rehabilitation, upgrading, and modernization of National Iron Ore Mining Company at Itakwe. It is necessary to state that a lot of cooperation is needed for the due diligence exercise to be completed. We have received all the cooperation that is needed for the exercise, and we hope that our consultants, Shandong Metallurgical Engineering Corporation of Limited, will carry out the exercise diligently.
Nigeria is turning abroad for over 300 billion naira to bridge the funding deficit in the 2016 budget. According to the Debt Management Office, the country is seeking 2 lead managers and a financial advisor to organize the issuance of $1 billion of Eurobonds in 2016. This comes a few weeks after Kemi Adeosun, who is the Minister of Finance, informed Nigerians that the country would be borrowing from foreign sources in the 3rd quarter of 2016. The issuance of the bond is part of a 4.5 billion naira which is the Nigerian Global Medium Term Issuance Program, which is to run through 2018. The Naira hits 3.95 on the parallel market following reports that the CBN may sell dollars to licensed bureau de change operators. The Naira has been on a free fall since last week and closed the week at $400 against the dollar, but managed to recover at the start of this week. However, it is still 25% weaker than the interbank rate of 3.19 Naira. It is the weakest level for the Naira since the CBN abandoned its 16-month currency peg in June this year. The Naira has been under a persistent pressure as dollar scarcity continues to weigh on the local currency at both the parallel and interbank markets. Oil fell below $45 per barrel on Tuesday after rallying to a 2-week high the previous day. This comes as concerns about a supply glut outweighed hopes of producer action to prop up prices. Brent crude was down 35 cents at $45.04 per barrel, while U.S. crude was down 24 cents at $42.78 per barrel. OPEC sources have been saying that renewed talks about a global output freeze could take place in September this year, when most members plus non-members such as Russia are expected to attend an international energy meeting scheduled to hold in Algeria. More than 90 people were shot dead by security forces in protests across Ethiopia's Oromia and Amara regions over the weekend. This latest figure was revealed by residents and opposition officials on Monday. Unrest flared in Oromia for several months until early this year over plans to allocate farmland surrounding the regional capital for development. Authorities scrapped the scheme in January this year, but protests flared again over the continued detention of opposition demonstrators. A bomb blast has killed at least 70 people at a hospital in the city of Quetta in southwest Pakistan. Dozens of people were injured in the attack, which happened at the entrance of the emergency department, where the body of a prominent lawyer shot dead earlier on Monday was being brought. The casualties included lawyers and journalists accompanying the body of Bilal Anwar-Kasi. Pakistani police say they suspect the bomb was detonated by a suicide attacker. Meanwhile, a faction of Pakistan's Taliban say it was behind both the attack and the murder of the lawyer. Nigeria's Aruna Quadri became the first Nigerian to reach the quarterfinals of the Olympic table tennis men's singles event when he beat 10th seed Timo Boll of Germany 4-2 on Monday. The 28-year-old Quadri was quick off the blocks as he took an early 3-0 lead against two-time medalist Boll, who was the flag bearer of his country during the Friday opening ceremony. Quadri, who defeated Chinese Taipei's Chuang Chi-yuan, ranked 7th in the world in the third round earlier on Monday, will now face world number 1 Ma Long of China in the quarterfinal. Nigeria Sports Minister Solomon Dalong has apologized to Nigeria's under-23 national team Dream Team 6 for the confusion which had them stranded in US for 5 days. The players were originally scheduled to fly out of Atlanta for Rio on Friday, July 29th. But after much panic and delay, the team eventually left for Brazil on Thursday, August 4th, 7 hours to their first group game against Japan. In a true display of sportsmanship, the team has put the issues behind them and gone on to win their two group games, sealing a place in the quarterfinals. Dalong has now taken responsibility for the delays and apologized to the players and coaches of the team. Brazilian football legend Pelé has postponed his visit to Nigeria due to health reasons. The soccer star was initially scheduled to be in Nigeria on August 11th and August 12th as part of a program organized by the Win Hinjemide Series and the Youth Experience Days Africa. But in a statement issued on Monday, the organizers say the 75-year-old could no longer make the trip due to an ill health. Pelé was also forced to miss the opening ceremony of the Rio 2016 Olympic Games due to ill health. The organizers say a new date will now be announced in due time. Well, that's it on News Now. We thank you very much for joining us. I am Thelma Okoro.